titled Breaking the Silence. It's going to be a look into how silence perpetuates prejudice. During my research, I analyzed how cross-cultural education had a direct correlation with lowered bullying rates. Kristina, can you use the mic? 2.1 million students each year are reported as being bullies towards other students in schools. 2.7 million students are reported as being victims of these bullies. 87% of students report that retaliation is the main motivation for school shootings like Columbine and Sandy Hook. I conducted my research at John Muir High School, located in Pasadena, California. It's a minority-majority population with 8% whites, 30% African Americans, and 65% Hispanic population. The school has had previous incidents with race riots and gang tension on campus, so it was a perfect place to conduct this research. I did a 3-day study, which included the first day of students sharing dialogue about stereotypes and generalizations for their specific culture. On the second day, they watched the movie Crash and self-reflected on their own personal bias and stereotypes towards others. On the third day, they participated in autoethnographies, which I'll describe later. I found that there was a disconnect, and this is what was causing the bullying and prejudice. Martin Luther King once said that people fear each other because they don't know each other, and they don't know each other because they don't communicate with each other. So then I asked, why don't they communicate? And in my research, I found 2 main culprits: silence and silencing. Silence is the act of not talking about race. Silencing is the act done to someone to prevent them from talking about race. Specific emphasis within our community is teacher silence. It's the omittance of action by a teacher to address a racial or prejudicial incident within their classroom. During my literature review, this case study came up. A group of students went up to the front of the class and performed a skit about the Korean War. They pulled their eyes to the back of their heads and proceeded to talk in high-pitched voices, depicting a stereotypical Asian man. The teacher applauded with the rest of the class and called the skit entertaining. In 1988, Peggy McIntosh developed an essay describing certain unearned assets that the white culture got to use to navigate throughout our cultural hierarchy. She described these things as invisible passports, codes, and blank checks that they used. Here are a couple of points from her essay. I can choose blemish coverage or bandages in flesh color and have them more or less match my skin. If a traffic cop pulls me over or the IRS audits my tax return, I can be sure that I haven't been singled out because of my race. When I am told about our national heritage, I'm shown that people of my color made it what it is. There's a false assumption that talking about race makes one a racist. There's also a false assumption that not talking about it makes it go away. Well, hi, I'm talking about it and I'm not a racist. And it's not going away because I want you to hear about it here and now. The reality is that the silence of these issues is what perpetuates them. I had my students conduct autoethnographies to attack this problem. An autoethnography is a written piece of self-reflection of how you fit into the social context of your society. Do you feel the world views you most because of your age, your gender, your race, your language, your religion? Here are a couple examples from the students that I worked with. I really don't know how others view or categorize me as a person, but I'm always getting looks and glares when people see me with my daughter. She's my pride and joy. Usually people I meet assume I have dropped out of high school. I think as a teenage mother, people tend to look down on me without knowing who or what I'm really like. I come from a world of quinceañeras, mole, and women tending to their men. I'm the picking up after the boys because they don't belong in the kitchen, the homemaker, the wife. But I'm also American, which means I don't want to pick up your plate or tend to your hangover, be your wife, and be dominated, because I'm from a world of moving forward. I feel marginalized because I am black and white, but the world only sees me as black, and it's not fair. I am told to forget one entire half of my identity because the other half somehow means more to other people, the half they can use to make me feel inferior. The idea of America sounds great, but we unfortunately still are not all equal. After the autoethnographic share, I had the students participate in a series of surveys. This question in particular stuck out to me from the survey. What are your new perceptions of your classmates? Our differences are what make us all so similar. Hearing some of their deep thoughts made me change my perceptions of them, because we are so much the same, and I had no clue. The program created a synchronized energy. 90% of my students realized personal bias and stereotypes they held for others that they didn't realize outside of the program. 100% of students voted in favor of incorporating a mandatory cross-cultural education class on their campus. 2 weeks ago on USC's campus, 79 police officers showed up to a graduation party decked out in full riot gear. The incident was said to have racial undertone as, across the street, a party of majority white students went unbothered by the law enforcement. Early intervention can prevent incidences like what just happened recently on our own USC campus, and prevent bullying that happens all over this great nation in our school systems, because our students will learn to view their peers with new perceptions, be able to self-reflect, and learn to build culturally caring relationships. I conducted my research at John Muir High School because that's where Jackie Robinson went. Jackie Robinson was the first African American to break the color barrier and enter the major leagues of baseball. He's also my great-great uncle. I chose to live by his famous quote, "A life is not important except for the impact it has on other lives." So with this, I ask you to think. Martin Luther King didn't say that he had a plan. He said that he had a dream. Some of you may not agree with my plan of cross-cultural education classes or doing autoethnographies, but I ask you to at least embrace the dream. And remember these topics as you go out into your educational community, because now you can be empowered to be a change agent to provide a better future for our younger generations. Thank you.